I can
Sure,
go
I'll go.
next.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chrissy. I was waiting for a bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chrissy. I live in the Bay Area, down in the South Bay near San Jose. I work with Edward Jones, which is a financial advising company. I'm really passionate about helping small business owners and entrepreneurs. So, helping with people set up 401ks, exit planning for people that are started their startup and are ready to move on or things like that. So, just wanted to introduce myself and looking to connect with people, especially if any CPAs are here, would love to connect with those. So, thank you.
Kirk, would you like to go? Thank
Yeah,
you,
I can.
Chrissy.
That's pretty awesome. So, hi, everybody. Kurt Vane, founder of Affinity Effect. We're a design agency that focuses on small teams and solopreneurs that need more scheduled meeting with the right clients.
Awesome. Welcome back. Did you get, well, we'll talk later. Who would like to go next?
Hello, everybody. My name is Amanda Lynn Van Sickle. I am 24 recently, and I graduated from college a few years ago. I studied international business, I minored in Mandarin, and I grew up learning French. So I'm a language girl through and through. I'm a people person through and through. I really love helping anyone in any way I can, and I'm currently looking to broaden my uh, employment area. I'm currently in retail, but who wants to stay there? The people are nice, luckily, where I am, but I think there's always room for improvement. And I am a big Huberman fan. So if anyone loves Huberman Lab, the podcaster, we'll talk. I do comedy on the side just for fun. I am an artist. I do everything in the social media and the creative painting, upscaling, clothing arena. I am a therapist to all of my friends and people I've never met before. I truly enjoy children and adults from any age range and just helping anyone in all in what ways I can. If you've ever heard of the term ikigai, it's like a Japanese word and it encompasses like what you're good at, what the world needs, what you love and what you can get paid well for. And at the moment like I'm very much so on my enjoyment of the path looking for that because I do believe it is about the journey. And I love that term because I feel like, isn't that what we all want? Like, it's the raison d'etre. Like, it is the reason to want to live and to move forward and to help people. And I think there's such a positive momentum with that. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. And so I'll drop my information in the chat if anyone has any job opportunities. I'm always open. I'm currently in Sacramento region. I'm in Rockland, specifically California, and I love traveling. And that is something I'm very much so geared towards at the moment.
Amazing. Glad you're here. I think you're going to like the discussion topic I have planned for tonight. Who would like to go next?
Can go next.
Okay.
Hi, yeah, my name is Abdul Rahman. I'm originally from Egypt. I live here in LA, California. I have a software company. It's called Ovation. We work with the different. We have like we work with the different companies and different sectors, and we have our own products as well. Also, we've just launched like more than like 4 products last 2 years, and we're willing also to launch like 2 extra products at the end of the year. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
being here.
Thanks.
Who would like to go next?
I could go probably next
Yeah.
and jump in. Yeah. I'm currently in Saudi, Riyadh. We've got offices across Dubai, Las Vegas, London, Egypt. We specialize in SaaS, IP telephony for businesses, individuals, call centers, etc. And we're expanding across most regions. And we can help businesses develop their AI in terms of reaching customers and CRM solution.
Awesome. Where did you say you were?
I'm currently in Saudi, Riyadh. Decided on an expedition here with some businesses.
Awesome.
Massive expansion. over here in Saudi. It's a booming at the moment for businesses to get into early development in the country.
Amazing. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who would like to go next? Someone had their hand raised.
I will go next.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is Harsh, aka Simon, and I belongs to Web3, and I'm the founder and CEO of Zender Lab, and we provide the fundraising and partnerships and operation kind of stuff from the Web3 space. And I'm happy to join here as well to learn more about the real businesses, what's going on in our Web2 segment. So that's a very great opportunity you have shared with us. I'm very glad to join. And looking forward to speak everyone here. And basically,
Awesome.
I'm from India. Yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Welcome and thank you so much. Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, all. My name is Devjit, but my Starbucks name is Dave. That's an easy one to take. My company is Zoiver. Zoiver Tech is so we are into product development, and I come with 2 decades of experience in corporates. My partner had two successful exit. We know each other for last 25 years. Both of us started our career together. So what we are really trying to do here is help product developers, startups, new or early stage companies to help them mentor and go in that way, how to structure and, do it successfully to scale and grow. It's a huge task. It's not easy. So we help in many aspects, be it development, be it, consulting, be it, helping them go through the journey. That's what we are. We started off I'll put the website, but keep in mind, it's still not ready. So we are at that stage. We are a very early stage.
Awesome.
And nice to be part of this community. I'm based out of San Jose, by the way.
Thank you. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much. All of it. Who had their hand raised? Did we skip over them? And I think we're on. Yeah, Natalie, go ahead.
Okay, I was making sure my audio was working. Okay, hi, I'm Natalie. I'm from San Diego, and I have a background in environmental science, but now I do website design and development. So yeah, I'm just excited to connect with people and learn more about the space for like everyone's spaces.
Awesome. Welcome. We have a few people left, I believe.
I'll go for it.
Yes, I'm just gonna call on you.
All right. Hi guys, I am Caitlin Rodriguez, although I should have my wife's last name changed, so please don't tell her that. I'm Miss Gomez and I run a financial agency. I like to also say just I'm a personal development mentor. It's a lot of mental shifts when it comes to money. And my wife and I, we've been doing it for 6 years. So we're born and raised New Yorkers. And yes, I made things more expensive. I moved to Florida. That's me. And I like to say that we teach 3 concepts to families, which is screw Wall Street, screw the lenders, and screw the IRS, right? Uncle Sam. So we teach people in concepts and in return that just gain more confidence in their journey and their life. So it's either savings or protection plans, strategic investments. I mean, you can just name it. We're pretty much of everything of Amazon, but in the financial space. So Caitlin Gomez with Financial Revolution.
Welcome back, Caitlin. All right, who is left? Anyone? I will go.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Larnice. I am the owner of Cute Soaps by Nice, in which I make creative, cute soaps and favors for everyone. I am also currently working on 2 other projects on the way, Thirst and Larlush Beauty. And this is my first ever networking with business-minded people. So I'm very excited to be here today and be around a bunch of like-minded business people like myself. So thank you.
I love it. Welcome. It's awesome. Bracy, I see your face. Would you like to go? Hi.
Of course. It's great to be amongst all great minds here. My name is Bracy Fuentes. I work with Rev Hub OC out in Orange County. We're a fund that invests in social ventures. So if you're into social enterprise, that kind of space, we do provide capacity building for lots of our social ventures. We're currently running an incubator that is around climate action. And so we work with lots of great engineers, and we're trying to, get them to think about, or at least grow some business acumen, and that's it, other than the engineering technology, technical skills. So we're going to need a lot of the skills that you guys are all offering in our incubator. So I will be following many of you guys. So glad to be here and glad to hear more about the work that you do.
Awesome. Welcome. Drop all your links in the chat too, so you can connect. Who do we have left? Anyone? I'll go. It's my turn, I guess. I'm Abigail, your host. I'm a full charge accountant and CFO, and I've launched a business kickstart accelerator program for new entrepreneurs who are looking for, like, I guess the pathway, which includes some one-on-one as well as peer mentorship. And I do host this group a little bit differently than your like round robin, opportunities to pitch, although your introductions are kind of what get you there. But I like to host with a specific discussion question in mind, and it gives us an opportunity to get to know each other on a more, intimate level so that you're making connections based on, real human interaction. So in August, we've been talking about business intuition. And I think we're going to have some like really great perspectives here tonight with everybody in such vastly different industries and vastly different places in their career. So the question is, and I had to write it down because sometimes I fumble it a little bit. When you're planning or strategizing, how do you determine whether you're operating from a place of ego or higher self? And I'm going to put that in the chat. So when you're making business decisions, how do you know if you're approaching it from ego, the ego self, or the higher self? I'm just going to type that up. If anybody would like to go.
I'll do it. Like, usually the way I do it is I always I go back and listen to myself in my head. Like, am I talking like a fight coach, or am I talking like the one in the ring? So that's basically where I hit is I try to, especially even you're doing your one-on-ones with the people you work with, or you're doing your one-on-ones with even a potential partner or something. There's a lot that you want to express that you want to then reconsume after you have expressed it, versus like see what the effect is and then just kind of bounce back and forth on that effect. That's been my biggest learning from hopping from enterprise to startup consulting. So that's kind of like what I've been running across.
I like that. That's a great start. Anyone else?
One of the things I would always tell my clients, and I'll tell everybody here, for those, especially for those of you that are going to be starting your own business, if you go at this with the mindset of ego, you're going to fail. There is a 100% certainty you will fail. And if you don't believe me, just keep doing you. And when you fail, you come back to me and say, I told you so. But the thing is that you have to be able to humble yourself. I mean, starting a business, it's all about failing, right? If anybody, any of you guys that have started a business or expanding, or anything else, if you're not failing and learning from your mistakes, you're not growing. So humility is a huge part of it, right? And it's kind of funny, and because I'm in the security field, especially in this wonderful state of California, I'm being sarcastic, by the way. What it's always amazing because in the security field, liability is one of the biggest factors, right? And especially in security. And the thing is that I always tell people that 95% of the human population is stupid, and then I say myself included, because unless I can move society forward by revolutionizing some type of technology where it benefits humankind for the next 1,000 years, I'm just like everybody else trying to make it, right? So if you go at business, at everything you do with that kind of mentality, you're going to do just fine, right? You want to be humble. You want to be humble. You want to see yourself for what you actually are. Just because you work hard doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve to have a big ego. Now, that being said, sometimes when you start succeeding after about, for those of you that are starting a business, I would, if you guys keep working at it, I would say about by year 2.5 to year 3, you're going to start seeing some profits to where it's actually like, oh my God, I have a successful business. That's usually where the trap is, where you start to kind of get that Salt Bay mentality where you think, oh, I'm the greatest things than sliced bread, and then reality soon hits that you end up crashing and burning. So I would say to kind of humble yourself right around that 2.5, 3 year mark when all that hard work is starting to pay off, assuming it goes in that direction. But just a piece of advice.
Yeah, I think comfort is what you were just talking about. Like when you start to get comfortable, you kind of relax a little bit and you stop putting that extra effort in, and like the ego lives in that comfort zone, and the higher self is thinking like growth mentality and like future. That's kind of what I would have to say. Kenny, take it away. And please, everyone, also, Kenny's got his hand raised. There's a reaction button down on the bottom if you want to pipe in, but it's also like just take it away too.
Yeah, it's optional, if you
Yeah.
guys want.
It helps, though.
But yeah, I kind of want to say that, and I'm just being real here. Life has always kind of had a way of just humbling me naturally. You know what I mean? Just growing up in New York, in the Bronx, uh, my family was actually homeless for a time, right? For at least like 2 years of my childhood. Um, so I knew what it was like to have nothing, right? So when I started, you know, here at Atlas, it kind of it kind of took on a life of its own. You know what I mean? Like when I started seeing that success, or like the fruits of my work, it was never like, yeah, like let me start feeling myself now, right? Because well, in my head at least, I'm still that kid, who grew up with nothing. So the most that I want to do is kind of just take care of my people, right? Um, and I kind of talk to my family about this all the time too. It's like, you'll never know when I make it, right? But there will be signs. you know? But yeah, it's really important just keep that top of mind, right? Is that you're never gonna be the number one best in the world at what you do, right? But being good is great. You know what I mean? So you kind of just have to roll with the punches. And I don't know who said the analogy about being a fight coach, but sometimes you got to be a fighter, so fighting for what you want and the life that you guys deserve.
I think that was Eric.
Yeah, Eric, that was a great point.
Yeah. Chrissy?
Yeah, I just wanted to add kind of like based off your question, I think one thing when you're starting a business that I think gets in our head, whether we call that ego or what, is just embracing the awkwardness of like networking, of asking your friends, asking for advice from your network, from other business owners. I think it's if you get over that awkwardness, I think that really helps. And embracing it, is tough, but I think it becomes really rewarding when you've got days when you're like, I really don't want to pick up the phone and call people, or I really don't want to go to a networking thing tonight. Is just going, look, I gotta, get dressed, get out there and just go meet people, shake hands, and just have conversations, because I think that really helps a lot of us business owners or people running a business just actually find out who is your client, like who do you want to work with, right? Who do you want to build a relationship with? So I think that's just one I wanted to add that. So
I love it. We talked about that a little bit a couple weeks ago. Thomas was actually the guy we were talking to, and what a success story he's got this week. Anyway, Kerr, go ahead.
I think Natalie raised her hand before I did. So
Oh.
I can go after Natalie.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Kirk. So actually, I love this question because I'm kind of on the opposite side where I majored in hospitality management. So I was really just gifted to serve. I just want to help people. And so I started working with a goat farm, helped her with a women's battery shelter nonprofit. And then I went into this chiropractic business and helped him grow it. But I think sometimes if with the ego, you have to also pay attention to sometimes people maybe taking your service for advantage. He loved the man that I worked with, but he really wanted to keep me as an employee. And then I looked at him one day and I was like, every single problem we've gone through, we survived. And he kind of looked at me and I was like, all right, I'm doing this for myself now. And like, that was a really big jump after 8 years of just getting him to $1 million in revenue and really fighting for what we deserve. But now it's kind of like, I think self-worth with a little bit of ego is a good thing, because sometimes if you do focus on your higher self, you might miss an opportunity for yourself.
That's like really well said. Really well said. Kerr, go ahead.
Yeah, awesome, Natalie. It's similar to that because I have a thing where you're supposed to have conviction about yourself, not conviction against others, right? So it's like believe in what you do, believe in your worth, believe in and what you know, but don't believe anything against others. Because and that segues to how I operate from how I strategize when it comes to ego or higher self. I also ask this question: can I take a no from this? Right? Because when I decided my business should start doing cold calling, cold emailing, and door-to-door knocking, that was the ultimate question: can we take a no? And how do we take a no? And so that's the ultimate thing. Well, and then the other question that we transition is: do we have value to give? If we have value to give, we should not feel ashamed to ask if we can share the value. If we're trying to do this to manipulate them, then no, we should fail. So that's kind of how I those is like the type of question I ask before I make any new service, pivot or anything with my business and my team.
That's like, gosh, these are amazing. You guys, this is amazing. Would anyone else like to go off of those?
I just wanted to first say thank you, Abigail, for the question. I think that was a really not only thorough, but I didn't expect to come in. Like, I'm a very spiritual woman. I didn't expect to come into this and get that kind of question. I'm like, oh, I'm happy. I'm happy. And pivoting and adding to what everyone has kind of said so far, there's a really big thing within me where it's like sometimes we try to like move in that highest light. Like we try to, as often as we can, like help as many people as we can, like Natalie was saying, but also being so aware of when we are, like Eric was saying, like, okay, am I being the person in the ring or am I shouting at them saying, come on, come on, come on? It's like acknowledging when we have that ego. And I felt so much power in the pure essence of just saying, pause, whether it's to myself, whether I say it in the middle of a sentence, like to someone else, and it's just like, wait, let's pause because maybe what I just said or what I thought wasn't really truly in alignment with what I believe. And I said it, but I didn't mean it. And I want to make sure that that there is a coherence with what I truly mean, because sometimes the ego, it's unfortunate, but it's obvious. It's like, it is there to protect us, but doesn't mean that we need to live in it. And it's like, it's so valuable to be able to respect ourselves and to know when we wake up in the morning, like, I'm doing this because I choose to, and because I would love to help as many people as I can, but I am no walking doorstep. Like, I'm not there for you to walk all over me. And I want you to be there. I want you to be the horse that comes up to the water. I want you to help yourself. It is not just a give, give, give and a take, take, take. And so having that moment of reflection, that pause in our day when we are so bombarded by social media, flashes, email, it's like there is something always trying to grab our attention, especially ads. And it's like, it's just wallpaper. It's like, if we can just remind ourselves, like, this other stuff is so outside of us, it doesn't really matter. Coming back and checking in with ourselves. My biggest advantage, I feel like, to having the mindset that we all possess is the ability to remind ourselves that at any point we can just pause and ask ourselves, like, okay, where are we at? what are we feeling? Is this really in alignment with what we would like to truly put out to the universe and thus receive back? Because if we aren't putting out what we want to receive, how can we expect to receive that?
I love that. I use pauses regularly. Especially, and again, going back to Natalie, I tend to give myself away to friends, to people all the time, clients all the time. I've helped a lot of my clients build these, multi-million-dollar companies. So I'll have people come in and they just want to pick my brain. And for one, if it's a paying client, even if it's not, I will say, oh, that's a good question. Let me get back to you on that. Because I know that some of these questions you can't just spit out an answer. You really have to like pick it apart and give something thoughtful in return. But on the other hand, I often come across a friend or a family member who wants to just call all the time and like run these ideas and these things by me, and I become invested in the outcome of their business or whatever they're doing. And I often have to pause, not for the same reason, but to remind myself to like back up and let this person kind of figure it out on their own at the same time. And sometimes that's, that higher self consulting, if you will, where it's like, all right, you've given them enough. It's their turn to either take it or leave it. And if they leave it, then that's on them. If they take it, like great, you continue supporting from there. But if you're in a consulting realm, it's like really important, going back again, Natalie, to, providing that service from a higher self, but also like, I know at least for me, it's really easy for me to give that highest self advice, but I'm not always asking myself for advice, and I'm not always taking my own advice. And so sometimes like I'm remaining small, not because I deserve to be, but because I'm paying more attention to other people than I am to myself. There's some balance in that. I see a lot of heads nodding.
Adding to what you said, I think that is such a good point. It's like reminding ourselves to look and see for ourselves. On my New Year's resolution this year, I made like the bingo card, whatever, but I made one specifically for ask myself for advice. And when I pause and take that minute to really say, okay, if I were to step out of this, if I were to be, I want to live to 111 years old. If I'm at 110 right now, 111, how do I see this? How can I look backwards and say, like, would I regret having had done this? Like, what advice would I give myself? Even if I was 5 years in advance, what advice would I give myself? I think it's so easy to tell other people advice and then to go about our day. And I realized that in like back in middle school, I was always asking everyone for advice on what I should do, but I loved giving advice, but it was hard to take my own advice. And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea, but then wouldn't take it necessarily. And now it's like, I feel so rejuvenated when I genuinely ask myself, it's like, okay, what would I do if I was in this situation? Take everything else, all the context, and just what is the core of it? What is the big picture? Why am I not doing it then? And it's like no fluff. It's like, just get to it.
I love it. Caitlin.
I love this topic so much. So much, because I think that it just goes into depth of everything. How you do life, how you represent in all your relationships, your friendships, your partnerships with everyone. It's really important, because even in my relationship, I felt like I had to check my ego and pride at the door. My wife and I have been together for 10 years, and there was moments in time where I felt like she was outgrowing me. And that was like ego. That was my ego talking. And sometimes when I realize like being in the industry and working, like being a business owner and an entrepreneur, like sometimes your ego could be so loud, you can't even hear someone else's pain. And then I, like, after doing a lot of internal work, it's like, would I have, should I have ego or should I have more soul? I'd rather have more soul, because if I'm having ego, I'm thinking about too much of what other people think. Then a lot what Amanda Lynn said, that you just start to not be authentic. You start to not show up as yourself, and then you start to do like injustice to what you do and how you represent yourself when you walk into a room. Like, let's face it, when people, new year, new me, they're like, oh, let's go to the gym. Then like a month later, where's everybody at? I feel like that's a little bit catching an ego, right? A little ego pill that you swallow, right? Because you start getting to the momentum of everyone else's steps, but then you start to like go back to your old ways, you know? And I feel like that's like a repetitive check that like as entrepreneurs that we just got to continue doing. Like, hey, am I working on myself? Am I walking in my own steps, or am I trying to follow someone else's path? Am I being truly authentic? Am I working through my ego? Am I working with my soul? And I think that's like super important as an entrepreneur and as a business owner.
So good. So good. Gary.
I just wanted to come back to something that you said, Abby, where you said that you sometimes would give yourself away too much. And I definitely fall into that category at times where I bend over backwards to help people. And I came to a conclusion when I was more corporate in administration that if I cared about your performance and your job more than you did, and I was trying harder for you than you were, then I was not in the right place. And now that I have clients, it's the same kind of thing. I can give the whole highest self advice, but I also have to protect myself. And if you don't care, or if I care more than you do, then it's time for me to step back and wait for that bus to hit you so that you care more. You know, that's just kind of a point that came to mind when you were talking about that.
Yeah. I that's something I need to remind myself of on the regular. Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, you and Amanda Lynn are speaking my language, man. Because one thing about at least my frame of mind is I don't really see myself above anybody, right? I always see them as an equal, right? I kind of meet them where they're at. Um, and so when it comes to those people who do take advantage, right? It's very difficult, right? Because you almost need to develop like a discernment, right? Like a spidey sense. Um, so it's like, how do I know that this person won't take advantage of me when I'm humbling myself and I'm kind of minimizing my ego, right? So luckily I've kind of had enough experience where I'm able to develop that discernment, right? It's like, yeah, like I can see that this person is genuinely in need of help, right? Like maybe this business is all they have, right? Or they have a loved one in the hospital, and this is literally paying for their bills, you know? So the more that you communicate with people, the more you get to know them. You get a better feel of not only where their ego is at, but kind of where yours is too. Like, am I helping this person for the check? Or am I helping this person because I know that what they're doing is going to help make the world a better place, or that I can help make their life a little bit easier?
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I just like wrote a bunch of things down. For one, like piggybacking off of Kenny and Caitlin, it was as well, relationships as it relates to ego and higher self. Like I learned something once about different relationship types. Like at least interactions is particularly in a sales setting where you have like the parent to parent. So that's like a respect to respect, you know, equal level approach. And then you've got the parent to child. So one of the parties is acting like the parent and treating the other like a child, or acting like a child and treating the other like an adult. And it could go both ways. But that child, I guess you could totally spin that and call it the inner child, and aka the ego. But that's kind of where you see, you know, the unequally yoked, as they say, approach in a relationship. Just a thought I had. And then I wanted to, Caitlin, again, you said something about your routine. And sometimes routine comfort can be coming from that place of ego. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but also I think it was last week or it was 2 weeks ago, you were here. We were talking about I had gotten off of my routine so badly that it ruined my week ahead. So like I've designed my routine to come from a place of the higher self. So like it's like really imperative that I stay on it because these are like high vibrational routines. Going to the gym, like my Sunday routine dictates my Monday routine, dictates my Tuesday, my Wednesday, my Thursday. And like those are, I've put those in place. I probably only read like 80% of it because I have ADHD, but Atomic Habits, and it talks about habit stacking. So like if you want to start implementing new routines or new habits, you stack one on top of it of another one so it's really easy to implement. So Sundays I have been going to church for like the last year and I've really tried to like, bring in that higher vibrational community, discussion, thought pattern, etc. And then 6 months into that, I added the gym in. So like my Sundays are stacked with like those two things. And then some rest and farm chores. I didn't tell you all where I live either. That was a fail on me. I live in the Western Maine foothills. I have an old farmhouse. So like there's a lot of farm work that goes on just by myself.
If you don't mind, I'd like to
But
add to it a bit. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done
yeah,
talking.
go ahead.
Oh, well,
No, I am.
what you guys have been saying hits home a lot because I'm going to keep referencing this because it was such a learning event. Because even though at the time I was doing consulting for Disney, helping them start off Disney Plus, and so high-level executive consulting. The reason why I bring it up is because I still flew to um, the middle of the U.S. to like fight in the ring and came back to work with two black eyes. Not a great thing, but what ended up happening was the discussions there, and a couple of those people I worked with ended up joining the fight team, even though they were hella nerds. And particularly because it helped them find that layered approach to going beyond what they've been circled around. So it's like, sure, it's not like you're gonna be tossed in the ring. So first you got to learn how to run, because three minutes is suddenly gonna feel like 30 and running at high speed. So you got to learn how to run. You got to learn how it doesn't suck to be hit. You got to learn how to make it suck when you hit. Like this layered approach. You can't go from zero to hero. You have to go from like you're willing to sit there and shout for your team members to being the one in the ring in the first place, to then retiring from that and then being there to cheer the same thing from the other fighters that you work with. So that's why I hope that made sense in terms of how a lot of what you guys brought up hit home, literally.
Yeah, I'm taking that as like kind of like the ego death. Something my mother, and this I'm gonna insert swear words, which is not uncommon for me, but in a group setting, I'm mindful. But my mom used to say to me, you have to dig through shit to get to gold. So you have to like kind of shed those ego layers, get humbled, go through the shit so that you can get in the ring. That's how I take that anyway.
That's basically where it is.
Thanks.
Well, I used to weigh 350 plus pounds. My last fight was at 150. I have 30 plus fights in the ring, and I had started fighting in my mid 30s. So, and it was just a matter of just gritting your teeth and going, that sucks, but it needs getting done. That was cool. Still need to do it. That sucked. Like you have that, like you have those layered cookies of like the delicious and the grit your teeth and get through it phase. So that's kind of how I see life in general, is instead of like getting down, just grit my teeth and try to put foot to ass.
Oh, that's dope.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, I keep using young people's language. I'm young, I'm sorry. So I really
Kenny,
resonate.
I just have to interrupt. You constantly young shame yourself. No one would
Yeah.
know.
He's
You're an
not
old
lying.
soul. Just
I
Who's
heard
gonna
you
just
say
know?
have it.
that before.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't help it, guys. But Eric, I really like what you said, because it kind of reminds me of something a business coach taught me, which is when you break down the word circumstance, right? There's circum, like the stuff that's happening around you, and then your stance, right? Like how you're positioned against everything external, right? So you never let the external influence your stance. You know what I mean? Because the way that you position yourself and your frame of mind will start to determine the external for you. You know what I mean? So the fact that you were so persistent and kept that fighter's mentality, even in your business, is like, it helps propel yourself to the heights that you know you can reach.
True. Her.
I just want to say that's ultimately what decides, who succeeds in result-based industry and who doesn't. Because like this week, I have to really let a client do that because he didn't want to do the work, right? I was like, hey, I don't know, I'm not an expert in your industry. I need you to let's have this conversation so we can actually uh, make the right stuff for your right clients. But he just like, no, no, I got a book, I got all these things. And I'm just like, hey, it's got to be done. Like, I wish we have some secret hack that we can do this with, but no. At the end of the day, right? Ultimately, we just gotta do the work.
That's what it boils down to often. Caitlin, were you next?
Yeah, I was gonna say something quickly. You were mentioning habits and routine, and to be honest, like, and it also, I don't know where my mind was going, but I had like two ideas from the conversation. Is that I think that having standards for yourself is like completely valid in terms of your business, in terms of like what you do, like and who you are. Standards are completely valid. And like a lot what Kerr said, like standing on ground, like if people don't want change, it chances are they might want the change. They're just not ready for the change. And that's also okay because it takes a lot of time to adapt to change because people, it's like a habit, right? People don't normally naturally just build on habits. They say habits are 21 days. I think habits are like 3 months. Like, because you got to keep on running. And I wouldn't necessarily see that's like ego, but definitely the highest self part. Because if I'm not showing up as myself, I'm not going to pour into you right. My cup is empty. And if my cup is empty, I can't give you it all. And there was another thing I was gonna say about ego. I think it was Eric. I think you mentioned like actually I'm gonna put myself on mute. I need to think about it real quick because I had it and I
Pause.
pause exactly pause and I come back.
Okay. Zakia, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yeah, you got it right. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here just listening to everyone's responses and thinking through how this would apply to me. And so I wanted to be thoughtful about it. And it really made me think back to the experience of me starting my business at the top of 2020. I was really, really excited to start helping women. I was like, yeah, I'm about to get in these streets. I'm about to start pitching these ideas. I'm about to start coaching people, helping women, and all of this. And I launched it and it literally didn't go anywhere. And it was because I was all excited. I was all into the colors and designing my website and designing my logo and thinking about all the things that felt very materialistic and surface level. And I ended up dissolving my business at the time. And fast forward about 5 years later, I work full time in higher education. I really was able to refine my skills and take a time and a moment to pause and rethink what's actually important. What are my actual values? What do I care about that I want to come through my vision of what this business should look like. And so that is what led me to rebrand it. I currently work, I mentioned earlier, in higher education. I design master's level programs for a school in Chicago. You are probably familiar with the University of Chicago booth, maybe not. But I currently work there and I design programs for them. And I thought, man, what an opportunity and what a learning experience for me because I'm now able to, because I took a step back and realized that this failure or falling off with my business was not actually a failure, but really a collection of data that what I was doing was not working for me. And how do I pivot for that? And how do I lean more into who I am authentically and my gifts and my strengths? Because, if you're writing something down, you're not writing with your non-dominant hand, you're writing with your dominant hand because it's your stronger hand. You're going to lead with your strengths. And so I think in the past, I was not leading with that. I was leading with what I thought people wanted and what I felt like looked good and what made me feel important. And now just realizing that, you know, who I am is enough. My lived experiences, they add value. And I'm going to come into this with the mindset that, you know, I'm here with a specific purpose. I know what my purpose is, and I will find the right people who are looking to receive that. And just a lot more focus these days. And so I don't know where I was really going with that story. I hope it's helpful to someone or motivational to someone in some type of way. It also was kind of in a different direction from where we were going, I think, a little bit. And so I didn't mean to steer us off track, but I just felt like I wanted to share that with you all, and maybe it's helpful to someone in some way.
Amazing. I actually wrote a note, maybe next week. We've talked a little bit about core values in other meetings, but I think I want to touch next week on intuition and your core values and how they overlap, because that's like such an important discussion topic. Kerr, I will let you take it away in just 1 second. Before we end, Kerr has a question for everyone, but there was a question in the chat. Yes, this is every week at 7 o'clock. The link is not the same, but it is through Eventbrite. And I do have them booked through like November, I think. So feel free to sign up for all of them if you want to. But yeah, I really love doing this, and every week it's just like so much fun. So, Kerr, take it.
Hey everybody, so we like to end things on a positive note, positive and inspiring note. So we'd like to share one success for the week, and take it away.
Well, I'll share. I like to be in people's face,
Wins for the
obviously.
week, right? Yeah.
So something that I'd like to share was like ending up partnering with Use Case, because I had ended up meeting them, and then it's one of the first times I've like talked with a CEO where we were on the same page from the get-go. And it was more along the lines of how value can be brought than just can I have a job, please? You know, so I think one of the things that I really learned from that was that that other side of approaching things is from the executive side. I'm so used to being basically like the fight coach of a lot of my executive clients, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, no, life doesn't suck as bad as you think it is. You can do this, right? Being kind of like that tech exec coach, and then seeing it on the other side, like being them, why they would have wanted me there in the first place, has really like it's become a lot more obvious in the last week why I was there in the first place.
Love it. Who's next?
I have a win. I'm actually counting this meeting as a win, to be perfectly honest. I honestly kind of stumbled across it, and it was a lot more useful and eye-opening than I anticipated it to be. But to be honest, I didn't know what to anticipate. So the fact that I stumbled along this, and I think I'm going to make this a weekly thing now, I'm counting that as a win for me.
Thanks, guys. Oh, this is always a weekly win for me. Sorry, whoever that was. Go.
I was saying +1 to Dominic, because that's what I wrote, that I will add this to my routine. Weekly, I stumble upon it, and I'm very glad to be part of this community. It's fantastic.
Thanks. Thank you.
I'm gonna third that, and I signed up for 3 networking events because I just felt like I needed to get out more to help grow my business, and I just needed to make that more of a focus on like building relationships and getting out of my comfort zone and everything. So this was the first one, and ended up getting on a call with someone I knew from a long time ago, which was really cool. So getting to reconnect, and yeah, I would say this for me as well.
Thanks, guys. That's wild, by the way. I think that's a first in this group. It's pretty crazy. Thomas has been coming for a couple months now. So
yeah, that's what he told me.
yeah. Crazy.
So
amazing.
completely unrelated to business. But it reminds me why I go to work. Well, my third grandson took his first steps this week, and just super cool, super excited to see the parents, super excited. And it just reminds me of why I even get up in the morning to do some of this stuff is to be able to be a part of their lives and be a part of that. So that was a big win.
My heart is exploding right now, you guys. Thank you so much. If there's more, please go ahead.
I want to share one. So the other day, actually two, one personal, one business. Quickly. Personal is that I've been reading my Bible more frequently. And that's something that's been really important to me, just like having that time with God and not making it an excuse. And on the business side, we're doing annual reviews for our clients. And I have this client of mine who I met at a dental office. She was cleaning my teeth. Okay. And it's been 4 years of knowing her. And we called her, and turns out for 9 months, she's been unemployed because she broke her arm on the sidewalk. And immediately I was just really concerned. Like, how are you paying your bills? How are you doing anything? And I'm getting emotional talking about this, but she just like, because we helped her with her credit, she's able to like not go bankrupt on her house, and she's been able to like pay off her bills. And I think that's just like really good for me. Like, that was a win for me, because that because of something that we did 4 years ago led her to be here, and she's sane, and she's an older woman, like this is important. So that was my win.
Amazing. Zakia, I'm not gonna let you slide out.
I
Did
saw
you
that we
have
were
a
coming up
win
on
you
the end
wanted
of
to
our
share?
time, so I wanted to be mindful of that, which is why I lowered my hand, but I'll kind of stay on the trend.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm not gonna cut us
great.
off.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the space. I wanted to kind of jump on this trend of personal wins. And I think one of them for me is taking some moments to pause, kind of like what we've been talking about today, and really I'm a firm believer in knowing that it's important to connect with the things that bring you joy and meaning and purpose outside of your work and that motivate you and inspire you. And so I really have been just taking a moment to take a break. I got a stack of books that I just purchased that I've been really excited to get through. I also bought a really huge, big ass, I'm gonna jump on the train of cussing as well. I just bought a big ass beanbag chair. I'm very excited about that. When you make money as an adult, you buy things that you wish you had as a kid, and that's one of them. So my beanbag chair and my stack of books, I'm very excited about that, and I consider that a huge win for me this week.
I love it. I love it. Natalie.
So coming from like the mindset of the hustle, I'm actually trying to build this like kind of a part-time business, so I can focus on hopefully becoming a mom soon. But that mentality of like the hustle, you can get in your head and feel like you're failing, even though you are trying your best. And I had a realization the last couple of days, and my husband's been so patient with me, but I realize I'm like, I've had 2 clients within the first 30 days of my business. So I just need to focus on celebrating 2 for the first year is already a success.
That's a huge win. And in 30 days, like, come on.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Sometimes the process doesn't go the way you expect it to, but it goes the way that it's supposed to. Kerr.
Yeah, just kind of piggyback off that because so normally I always try to tell myself, no, like I need to leave myself first before I even give out any advice or anything like that. Today I caught myself tripping on that because I just everything was going bad straight from the get-go in the morning, and I was focusing so many negative, and I almost canceled a meeting with a client who was ready to pay because I just wasn't in the mood, and then I have to really like close my eyes and brake because like when you're driving really fast and then you see a stop sign you didn't see it there and then you brake and then you just feel that friction on the floor. That's what it felt like when I realized I'm not leading my emotions right now. Right? It's like, hey, I'm about to get paid. Why am I focusing on everything that happened before here? Right? And then to circle around, one of the things that kind of threw me off was a client, well, a prospect at first last week told me that he wants to go with somebody else because I asked him if I can tell him something that might help him, but he didn't like it. So he went with somebody else who kind of told me everything he wanted to hear. And he circled back this afternoon saying, hey, what we talked about last week, can we explore options off of that? And I kind of had this mantra where I say, I'd like to tell myself and others what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. So I try to do that, even with myself. And sometimes I feel like I might be a little bit too harsh, but I always ask permission first. And I feel like, man, I really screwed that sale up. But he came back because the other person just went on a pitch after pitch. He doesn't know when too closer to the deal. And so it's like, yeah, you kind of just told me what I need to hear. He wasn't ready at the time, but yeah, the big win for me today was just taking that break, emotional break. Like, hey, stop going this negative streak.
I love that. That's awesome. And I'm taking notes for next week. Kenny.
Wow. I
Kenny,
kind of love what
am I
everybody
breaking
said.
up? Sorry.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. So my first win this week was from a client of mine. She works with children, teaching them emotional literacy. And we got back to her today with a full outline of how we're going to build out her app, including games for the kids, including some books that she's worked on. So she's very excited about that. And to be able to help her, kind of set up the building blocks for these kids to become like well-adjusted adults, like it's kind of awesome to be part of that. And my second win this week, which I'm very grateful for, an opportunity to, collaborate with Abigail, you know, and work together. So very, very fun. And I'm looking forward to it. Very excited. And yeah, a personal win this week is my nephew's coming over. We're gonna play some PlayStation. Hopefully I don't lose too bad, but I'll get back to you guys next week on that.
I love it. I love it. Thomas. My internet is
Yeah, so
starting
I
to go
guess
out, so sorry.
following up on my 3 client lands last week. This week I'm actually, one of them called me on a Saturday. I emailed him probably 3 weeks ago. 2 cold outreach emails, no response. Cold calls me at like 6 p.m. on a Saturday. Says, hey, I heard you do, advertising. I just want a video. I need it this week. Can we like shoot, you know, like today or tomorrow? And he's like, I mean, I live in Oregon. He lives in Seattle. So it was an out of the blue thing, not quite what I built my business to offer. Like it's only part of what I built my business to offer. But I'm delivering a first deliverable this week to him. So between Saturday and probably tomorrow will be, acquisition to first deliverable, which is crazy. So that's kind of exciting. We'll see how that goes.
Thomas, was this one of the emails that you were scared to send out?
No, this is actually one of my outreach to people I used to know. It's kind of a warm outreach. But I've sent several warm outreaches and they all went like 3 weeks with no response. And he's the only one that's gotten back. So kind of weird to have no response from warm outreaches, but he finally called me he never responded to the email. So he just called outright and jumped right into the let's get down to business. So I was like, all right. But yeah, been crazy. And doing remote because I've been reaching out to people in Seattle or in Oregon and didn't expect him to, want on-site stuff in Seattle. So it's like not just landing a client, but landing a client that's, more challenging than what I've expected. So just dive into the deep end on it and taking the challenges as they come.
Absolutely amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Bracy.
I think I'm gonna piggyback on some of what Dave, they call him Dave at Starbucks. I think Dave G. I came across this event just today because I'm kind of diving in deeper into the venture capital world, so that we can find, not only just the funds to invest in different startups, but it's a scary world. But I'm realizing one of the things that, I mean, yeah, you're sourcing, you're looking out for different startups to invest in all the time. You're looking at different pitches. But one of the things I realized, and which is why I'm here, was that you have to position yourself as a resource, right? When you do investments, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know the VC world, but when you do investments, you're not just taking an investment just for equity. You want that person or that investor to have a level of whether it's distribution channels or other connections or other resources, technical skill sets that you might need that your team's missing. This morning I was like, I need to look for events that provide, just great minds with the great skill sets that I can then plug into our startups. And so seeing that connection happening all day today, and me looking at events, like what event will probably hold a whole bunch of people that have just amazing skills. And that, especially when it means a lot to me, just because the ventures that we do want to, see succeed are social impact ventures, are people that are caring about the society and care about the planet, environment, and other people. It's not just to get rich. Of course, there's profits, and you always want profits, but their mentality, their mission is always about reinvesting it to change the world. So I know back 10 years ago, changing the world was like, oh my God, you can't do it by yourself. But now you find that there's so many people out there that are just really good at what you guys do really good with what you do. And just like, how do you then leverage your expertise to individuals who might need it for a greater good, right? So that's my win for today. Long-winded, but it's what
I love
what I'm ending my day with today.
love it. And I love that this group could be part of that for you. I'm so pumped. So pumped. I don't even know. That's my win. This is my win for the day.
This group has been absolutely amazing, and I just really appreciate you putting it together, apparently weekly. That's amazing. So you'll probably see me at the next week. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I had 3 people come in and get the same order today, and the guy who's number 2 got something where he was in full uniform, and I had just mentioned that I applied to a administrative assistant in the fire prevention, and he was a fireman, and he said he happened to work at that exact location a few years before. And I was like, that's cool. And then he goes about his day, and the third person who ordered the exact same item goes, I'm an air marshal and we're always hiring. And I go, oh, that's amazing. So he wrote down his number and gave it to me, and I'm like, well, thank you.
That's amazing. You can't ignore those synchronicities. Amazing. You
Yeah.
guys, yeah,
I'm sorry.
Kenny?
Yeah, I do want to add something really quick. For those of you who heard
Yeah.
everybody speak today and something resonated with you, that's a sign that you guys are definitely in the right place. I just want to say that. And before I continue, is there anybody else who has a win this week? Okay, cool. Just making sure, because I usually like to end the meetings off with a nice little quote that's in theme with the discussion. So this week's quote is from Steve Jobs. I know, not necessarily a nice guy, but he has something nice to say, right? So the quote is, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Mic drop.
Thank you. You really, I know I keep bringing up the fighting, but that's kind of like when you get in there, you don't see the crowd anymore. It's like that movie. It really is like that. You just see yourself, the guy with the mic, and the person in front of you. And that's
That's
all,
right.
it's all you see there.
Yeah, you're just in the moment.
Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Really
Yeah.
appreciate meeting when you said weekly, right?
Weekly, same time, same place, Eventbrite. The link is on there.
Awesome
You
sauce.
will get a email recap from me as well, so I'll go over some key points. I mean, there were so many in this meeting though that I can't possibly touch on them all. I do put the recordings up in the business kickstart program though, so they're available that way.
I was about to ask, is there like I guess a Discord server that you guys have, or like an way to connect other than just through this?
So I am mostly active on Instagram. That's my socials, although I just did a little bit of dabbling on LinkedIn today. So no, that's where I am existing, and then this on the weekly basis. But make
Okay.
sure before you sign off that you connect with everyone via their socials in the chat.
Yep, okay.
Quick question. Is it okay if
And
I
make
take
sure
a
to
picture of the group to post on my social media? Do I have consent from everyone to do that?
Do it.
I'm gonna look at my best, so I'm gonna turn my video off for that one, but
Okay, fair.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I'm happy to do that.
Well, I'm gonna hop off now, but I will see you guys next week and look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Dominic, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. I'm gonna drop my Instagram handle in the chat. And feel free to tag me, Natalie.
Yeah, will do.
So Abby, it's a testament to the positive energy that you bring to these things that we're 15 minutes over and people still want to stay.
I know.
You're all pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. This has been such a great group. It's funny because last week, first of all, I had all new faces last week, minus Kenny, who's my steadfast attendee. Yep. And we kind of, between Kenny and I, we had a hard time like kind of getting it going a little bit. Caitlin, you were there, right? It was kind of the three of us carrying the show. And so when I saw, I had probably 10 people still in the waiting room at 7:10. And as most of you are aware, I no longer let people in late. We all get an opportunity to introduce ourselves. And if you're showing up 10, 15 minutes early, you are disrespecting the people who already went. And so, and I'm kind of a stickler for if you're, what is it? If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're not getting in. So, this has been such a great group tonight. And I thank you all for participating because we don't always have such a high participation rate. So it really means a lot to me to hear from every one of you. And Kurt, the wins, like, yes, love that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not playing
Awesome.
about time limits. Yeah, there's still someone in the waiting room. Like, I don't know why they've been there the whole time, but they're there.
Thanks a lot for running this. I've got to get running, but I really
Yeah.
appreciate meeting everyone. I
My
hope to hear from
pleasure.
you next week. Take care.
Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Really awesome to
Appreciate it.
meet everybody tonight. Thank you guys so much.
Have a
Yeah.
good
Hope
night.
to see some of your faces next week.
Yeah, same. Good night.
Have a
Good
good
night.
evening.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you
Have a good
all
one.
so much. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.
I was in Egypt almost a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What did you visit? Did you like it?
I loved it. One
Oh.
of my favorite places I've ever traveled to. Best food I've ever had.
Oh my God, really? That's
And
really nice.
best hospitality of all the places I've ever been.
Thank you. Thank you. You always,
Yep,
you
I
always
loved
welcome
it.
anytime. Thank you. Can you,
Oh,
you live here
that's what
in
an
California?
Egyptian would say. What?
Yeah,
What's
of
that?
course. You live here in California?
No, I live in Maine.
Where?
In Maine, Western Maine, so like New England.
Oh, okay, perfect.
East Coast. Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So see you next week.
See you next week. So good to have
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.